what happens if we live in space? If we could live in space, it might cause us damage in our central nervous systems, while view acute effects in the consequence. Main effects in self is arterial connective function, reduce motor function, in behavioral change. The space radiation canals cause radiation sickness. The result is nausea, vomiting, anorexia, and fatigue. So the be able to live in the space we could help to adapt the new environment, knowing the space is very dangerous and without protection people would not be able to survive there. In space there is no air, so you cold blooded, it's cold, so you will freeze it. And there is lots of nasty radiation from the sun.
How will be transportation be like? For transportation, should use a spaceship that allow us to leave planet Earth and other planets exploring them. Without the spaceships, we couldn't move to any part of the cosmos to know with our own eyes everything that surrounds us. These are somewhat comfortable and are usually made by humans. They can also be manipulated by means of control from the ground. But in the future, we will be able to get to space as a trip, because recently a company called SpaceX organization has been doing this cooperation to get us into strong space marine them with ecological alternatives.
What materials will be the houses? The titanium, Kevlar, and high-grade steel are common materials in the ISS, International Space Station. Engineers have to use these materials to make the structure lightweight yet strong and puncture resistant, because each of the aluminum can be shaped components of the station have to be lifted into orbit. Minimizing weight is crucial. We could bring materials like metal or brick from Earth, but since we were transporting equipment to the moon from your home planet is very expensive. It would be better if we could make your moon base from resources that are already there. The surface of the moon is covered in fine, rough, gray dust. This material is everywhere, so it makes sense to experiment with ways of turning it into bricks and other building materials. Moon bricks will be made of dust, says Aidan Cowley, ESA's science advisor and an expert in the lunar dust. You can create solid blocks out of it to build roads and launch pads, or habitats that protect your astronauts from the harsh lunar environment. However, there is a problem. We do not have much lunar soil here on Earth to test this idea. Going back to the moon to collect more will be very difficult. ESA scientists were thinking that there may be a better way. Best of all, there's a plenty of it to easily collect and use for experiments. This standing for real lunar dusting is called EAC-1 after the nearby European astronauts, scenery was called EAC for short, where the scientists were working.
What kind of communication will be there in this space? Well, the communication is vitally important for astronauts. While they are in space, it not only does it allow them to talk to their friends and family and back home, but it also allows them to communicate with the team of experts on the ground that helps them carry on their mission safely. The message travel through space as radio waves, just like the radio waves that you have received with a car radio. Each spacecraft has a transmitter and a receiver for audio waves as well as a way of interpreting the information that was received and acting on it. An example of this is when astronauts adventure outside of a spaceship or the International Space Station. They must have to wear a protective spacesuit to keep them safe from the harsh environment of space. While inside these spacesuits, it's essential that they remain in constantly communication with the rest of the crew. In space as well as a mission control the center Earth to be able to report it. What happens to the Earth if we leave it? Well, the Earth won't always be free of occupations. We know that in 2 billion years or so, an expanded sun will blow away our ocean, leaving our home in the universe inevitable. Unless that is, we haven't already been wiped out by the Andromeda Galaxy, which is a multi-billion-year collision course with our Milky Way. Moreover, at least a third of the 1,000-mile wide asteroid that hurtled across our orbital pole will eventually crash into us at a rate of one every 3,000 of years. There will be certainly no longer exist.
Benefits and consequences. The space race was considered important because in showing the world which country had the best science, technology, and economic system. After World War II, both the United States and the Soviet Union realized how important rocket research would be the military. The direct benefit of exploration that was including the generation of scientific knowledge, the diffusion of innovation, and creation of markets, the inspiration of people throughout the world, and agreement forged between the countries engaged in exploration. The negative consequence is the environment of space is laden without the appropriate protection. The greatest threat in the vacuum of space derives from the lack of oxygen and pressure, although temperature and radiation also pose risk. The effect of space exposure could result in embolism, hypoxia, and decompression.